Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Dominique Pamplemousse in It's All Over Once the Fat Lady Sings. So this is a game by Deirda Kiai, and it was actually nominated, actually first I should say apologies if I mispronounced the name at all of the developer. It's I think probably the last name. There's potential that I mispronounced that, and I apologize now if I did that. But anyways, with the game, it was actually nominated for multiple prizes for the IGF 2014 kind of awards, right? The Indie Game Festival awards that they give out once a year. And I believe it was nominated for excellence in audio and narrative, as well as just the grand prize. And it definitely deserves those nominations. I have played through the entire game, and I really liked it, and I'll kind of talk a little bit more about that as we go on. Of course, I will link to where you can purchase the game in the description, as always. It is, I believe, $5 to purchase, so not too bad. I played through the game in roughly an hour, so I think that is pretty good. But there's not too much more I can explain without just jumping in here. Yep, that is fine.
Haven't had a case in ages, not since the recession. Spend my work days playing free cell, kind of an obsession.
So,
Pamplemousse. It's Pamplemousse. Your rant's late again. I'm sorry, Ms. Rathbone. It's just that there hasn't been much. Yeah, you've been saying that for months now. Well, I'm tired of letting you stay here rent-free, and I mean it this time. Either you pay up now, or I take your stuff out on the curb and change the locks. You hear me? Great. There's gotta be something around here I can use to get out of this mess. At least I damn well hope so.
alright, so this is Dominique Pamplemousse. This is kind of an operatic, like, point-and-click adventure game, basically. So the difference from this and other point-and-click adventure games, first of all, it's claymation, as you can see, which is super cool. Claymation has always had kind of a, I've had a soft spot for it. I was a big fan of, like, Wallace and Gromit as a kid, so I still kind of, love the claymation look. But then, of course, you also heard that a lot of the lines in this are actually sung, which I think is, I think that's super cool.
It's just a pile of mail, a bunch of bills I haven't paid. I can't believe the lights still turn on in this place. Wait a minute, what's this? Dominique, hope you're well. Your father and I just got back from Cancun. Unfortunately, he wound up with a bad case of the runs, but other than that, we had a lovely time. Have you cleaned your office lately? Last time we dropped by, it was a pigsty, and I tell you, that's not the kind of impression you want to give to your clients. Anyway, take this wad of cash and buy something nice to wear other than that ratty trench coat, for goodness sakes. Love, Mom. Huh, a wad of cash. Thanks, Mom. I knew I could count on you to bail me out of this mess.
Alright, so as what has happened with some other point-and-click adventure games, there are going to be a lot of times in this one I'm not going to talk, but I'm probably going to do about 15 minutes and, well, maybe not even quite that. Maybe I'll do like 12 minutes and then
Be a good idea to
wrap
give
up
that
talking
to
about
Ms.
my thoughts for a
Rathbone
few
and get her
minutes.
off my back.
So, there's a lot of extra dialogue in this room that you can listen to, and a couple extra songs and stuff like that, but I don't want to give it all away, so I'm just going to pay the rent here.
I want the rest in 48 hours, Pimplehead. That's exactly 2,880 minutes, at which time I'll be back, and you damn well better have my money by then. Well, I've bought myself some time at least, but now what am I going to do? Gotta come up with more money. Really need to focus, hoping that some work will turn up so I won't be homeless. Excuse me, sir. Oh, That was quick.
Oh dear, I'm terribly sorry. Should that be madam? I can never tell these.
Just Dominique is fine, thanks. What can I do for you?
I have somewhat of a predicament. I'm looking for a certain man. Are you familiar with the singer? Casey Bingham, pop star extraordinaire.
Alright, so before we move on, I should explain, this is kind of how we get most of our information. So we get topics that we can discuss, and then we discuss them with various people. And the other thing is, I wanted to mention, because that was kind of the first time they mentioned it, that idea of kind of the gender identity problems kind of continue to come up throughout the game, and I don't want to be presumptuous, but I would imagine that that's something that probably means a lot to the developer. Like I said, I don't want to be presumptuous and try and assume what point exactly they're trying to make, but I think it's interesting to see it portrayed in a game like this, and to see it portrayed in kind of a nonchalant way, because every time that happens, that's exactly the way that Dominique reacts, is basically by saying, you know, I don't care, I'm just Dominique. And I think that's awesome. I think that is a really kind of modern and forward-thinking way of handling that issue. Just wanted to kind of bring up that point. So, going to continue on here.
Casey Bingham? I've sort of heard of him, I think. I'm not very in on pop music these days.
He'd been cavorting with my daughter rather inappropriately. That is, until he up and disappeared, leaving town quite unexpectedly.
Alright, so we can question about Casey again.
Casey Bingham dude. I guess he's breaking some sort of sexual harassment policy in his contract?
No, I wouldn't call it harassment exactly, but for goodness sakes, she's a child and doesn't know any better, and him going off and leaving like this.
Doesn't that solve the problem then? Him leaving?
You'd think so, but not when he's my best-selling platinum artist in possession of, suffice to say, he can't be easily replaced.
And, I mean, we can continue to go down that path, but most of the time you only need to go over these once or twice.
My name is Prudence Phantom. You may have heard of me. I am the president and CEO of Phantom Records. You see,
Fandom Records, huh? That's, wow. I don't think I've ever had such a fancy schmancy client's case. This might just mean really good things for me. But why would she hire me in the first place? Tell me a bit about your daughter.
she's been acting rather standoffish. Devon, by the way, that's her name.
Alright, so I'm going to talk over this just a little bit. If I didn't mention, kind of each area of the game has its own song. So, if you hadn't noticed, each time that there's been singing during this conversation, it's been to the same tune. And I think that's kind of cool. It kind of, I think it's also a little bit character-based, so, like, every time you talk to Prudence, she sings this song in particular, which I think is kind of neat. It helps to give each character kind of an extra bit of identity. So I'm going to take the case here, and we should be able to move on.
I'll take on your case. Track down Casey Bingham's
That will
whereabouts.
probably
Anything else?
be about where I stop
If you find
playing.
anything out or have any questions, I'll be in my home office at 1420 Humperdinck Way. Until then, adieu.
Well, that's that, I guess. Time to actually get to some real work for a change. Hey, I wonder if the internet's working yet.
So now, you know, we've got these things that we can research, and we can research them on our computer if we want. I mean, maybe I'll show off doing that just a little bit. It's pretty much just...
My laptop's old as hell, likely weighs about 15 pounds. I can't believe that people used to carry these things around. It's barely even useful for stealing the neighbor's Wi-Fi. I have to keep it plugged in so the batteries don't die.
So we can click on someone, and we'll get a little information about them.
4 years ago. Famous for such #1 hits as Your Nose is Like a Rose and My Flammable Heart. Always wears a signature mohawk and necktie while performing. Resides in a $3.6 million house in the affluent Cuthbert Heights neighborhood. Aha! Now I know where this guy lives. Thank you, celebrity stalking internet.
So now I'll actually be able to go to Casey's house if I wanted. So, you know, we get to move through areas, and we get to question different people, and that's pretty much how the game plays out. I think one of the coolest things about the game, in my opinion, is that I believe the sets and all the clay figures and all the animation, as well as the development of the game, as well as the story, as well as, I think, at least the singing, are all done by the same person. And I think that's awesome. I think that Deirda did a really, really good job on all of this. I certainly enjoyed the game through my playtime. You know, it plays out like a detective story, and I wouldn't say that you know, it does anything that we haven't seen in other detective stories already, but it's still fun nonetheless, you know? I mean, the reason kind of the archetype of a detective story has stuck around so long is because people like that story, and people like the characters, and I think it's definitely a neat way to do a point-and-click adventure. You know, and as far as the art, I mentioned the claymation, and the sets, like the rooms, are built out of cardboard. That's pretty cool. There are actually like some jokes, I think, if I click on this. Let's see.
This place is such a dump, it's all I can afford these days. I hate looking at these walls, I keep meaning to redecorate. It's always cold and drafty, except when it's unbearably hot. I really like to move, but it's looking likely not.
Let's see here. I think if I click one more time. Yeah.
Hey, at least it's a step up from a cardboard box.
So, you know, I mean, there's also like little in-jokes about the whole thing, which, you know, that's pretty funny. I mean, I think the biggest thing that really sold me on this game is the charm in the whole thing. You know, it's just the fact that, you know, it is made out of clay and cardboard, and, you know, it's not just like a regular dialogue. You know, people are singing like it's an opera. I think that's all super cool. I think it makes it really stand out from other games that are like it. And, you know, personally, I really like it. I mean, I haven't talked about the music much. The music's really good all the way through. I like it. I never really got tired of the music or anything. And there are, you know, 6 or 7 different music tracks, and they're all really good. They're all pretty catchy. You'll find yourself kind of humming along with the characters as they're singing. But yeah, I mean, my overall thoughts on this are extremely positive. I think it's definitely worth checking out. I think it definitely deserves all the nominations that it got for the IGF Awards. I think that's really awesome. And I think that that you should check it out as well. I think especially if you are a fan of point-and-click adventure games, then this is definitely going to be a game for you. Especially if you also like kind of music and opera and that kind of stuff. You know, this kind of touches base with me on a lot of different things, and I think that's why I liked it so much overall. But yeah, like I said, I will link in the description to where you can purchase this for yourself, and I think that you should. And as always, feel free to leave comments if there's anything that you want to comment on. Subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos every single day. And if you liked my video on Dominique Pamplemousse, please consider clicking the like button, because that could help me out a lot, and I appreciate everything that you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.